Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Inshallah, let's continue with the next Quranic overview. We are going to take from the Juzz 11. We're going to take Surah Hud and Surah Yunus. Yunus and Hud, sorry, Yunus and Hud. Okay, Yunus and Hud. Now, before we do that, we should hopefully, inshallah, you appreciate now that we are going to start the third group of surahs now. Yes, third group of surahs. And Alhamdulillah, Allah Ta'ala, He has given us opportunity to have 10 sessions, if I'm not mistaken, so far. So we've had 10 fasts. Alhamdulillah, may Allah like accept this, and we ask Allah Ta'ala to give us taqwa. Give us taqwa, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, Ya Kareem, so we can be guided by this Quran. So let's have a look at then, inshallah, the group three of surahs. And I suggested for people a focused task of looking at Surah Yunus and identifying the different places where haqq and batil has been mentioned. So it would be nice, inshallah, to find out what you have found later on today. That would be really good. And your next task for tomorrow, I will tell you at the end. Remind me if I forget. Yeah, I've got another task, an interesting task for you to start to do for this group of surahs, for you to think about each group of surahs. So let's share the screen with you and share the resource that shows the groupings of surahs. So we have, and you should have this summary booklet. We have, alhamdulillah, looked at two groups of surahs. Group one, the first five groups, the first five surahs, and then the next group of surahs, 4 surahs. And we have just finished looking at Surah Tawbah yesterday, and hopefully it's fresh in your mind. Yeah, you are alert to the fact that we have just finished looking at the methodology of the Prophet ﷺ of achieving the vision which was given to us in the first group, the group on Sharia. Now, the link and relationship between these, let's think about this. Yeah, think about this. Sharia is the path. Yeah, Sharia is the path. And how to walk this path is given in the prophetic methodology. Now that Allah, He has shown us the methodology of the Prophet ﷺ of doing itmam al-hujjah. Now I'm hoping you will be familiar with these terms now, itmam al-hujjah and shahada al-nas. We now are being motivated by Allah to also carry out this task. And we are at the same time being told how to carry out this task again, how to tell people that this is the haqq, and how to help people identify what is batil. Yes? So look at it like this. The first group of surahs gives us the path. The second group shows us the way to follow the path. The third group is now motivating us to follow the path, but also then giving us even more elaborate detail on how to convey the message. Yes? And the two key terms here that will be repeated throughout this group of surahs is haqq and batil. Haqq and batil. And I'm going to spend a bit of time on these two terms today. to look at how are these two terms, what do they mean, and how have they been used differently in the Quran, different uses of these terms, how they've been used in the Quran, for us to have a holistic understanding of these two terms, haqq and batil. So Allah is motivating us that if you stick to the haqq and you call to the haqq, and He's teaching us how to call to the haqq and how to help our people identify batil, then you will definitely be successful. The haqq will prevail and you will be successful, no matter what the batil apparently seems to be like. So let's look at these two terms, haqq and batil. Haqq and batil. The first is haqq. Haqq. Haqq linguistically means, I'll write in Urdu for people who are listening in Urdu, mutabiqat. And mutabiqat and muwafiqat. And this is in Arabic as well, by the way, yeah? So it's not just Urdu. Muwafiqat. It roughly translates as something which is compatible, and it is according to something. I'll explain that. So there's a very beautiful example given in the dictionary, the Quranic dictionary, Mufridat al-Quran, of the door hinge. A door hinge, yeah? So you have to visualize a door hinge now, yeah? The door hinge that slots into its pivot, yeah? And then it will be stable and it will swing and fulfill its purpose. Yeah, this is really, really, when I first read this, I thought, why am I reading about door hinges? And you may be thinking the same. But the matter is that this is really important. I'm just making sure that I'm not on mute. People can hear me, yeah? I'm just making sure. Because yesterday we were not being heard in the beginning. All right, so a door hinge, imagine a door hinge. You have a part of the hinge on the door and a part of the hinge on the, what's it called, the door frame. And then when you slot the door hinge into the part in the bracket, then the door fulfills its purpose. They are both compatible. They are according to each other. They've been designed for each other, yeah? Haqq. So this is linguistically meaning of haqq. What else does it mean? Number one, it refers to the one who creates everything based on hikmah, wisdom, and purpose. The one meaning in the Quran of the word haqq. So this is referring to who? Allah, who al-haqq, the one who creates based on wisdom and with purpose. خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ بِالْحَقِّ. He created everything with haqq. Yes, for a purpose with wisdom. Number two, everything that has been based, everything that has been created, it has been created based on wisdom and purpose. Okay? He created the heaven and the earth with a purpose. He created the sky with a purpose. He created the moon with a purpose, the sun with a purpose, the stars with a purpose, the mountains with a purpose, the air, the water, humans, jinn, ins, jinn, angels, malaika. He created everything with purpose. He created dunya with purpose. He created akhirah with purpose. Haqq. Another meaning of the word haqq in the Quran, to believe in something that truly exists, or to truly exist. Haqq. Yes? Number 4. For a saying or an action to be as it should be, meaning at the right time and the right amount. In other words, or quantity, in other words, being justice, yeah? Being right. Haqq. Haqq also can mean you're right in terms of you should be recompensed about your right, yeah? Number 5, that which is rationally sound. Something that is sound rationally. That, number 6, that which is morally sound. Your moral instinct agrees with it. And finally, that which is based on solid, stable proof with a basis, yeah? And this, you could say these two actually refer to this. Okay, haqq. Anything else you can think of haqq in the Quran? Any other meaning? Yes? Okay. The opposite of haqq is batil. Batil. Batal. Batil. The antonym of haqq. So what is batil? Let me just highlight the things that it is not. It is not based on solid and stable proof. Has no basis. Yes? Okay. So let's take batil in a bit more detail. Batil. Batil. Sorry, this pen. Bismillah. Batil. Batil. Batil is the opposite of haqq. Yes? It has no basis, no stability, no proof. Yes? When you research, when you find, you look and you find that this is not true. The Quran talks about batil, it refers to the false idols who have no basis. There is no basis for their existence or to believe in them. Batil can refer to both sayings and actions. Sayings can be batil because they have no basis for what somebody is saying, and actions can be batil because they have no basis for them being accepted by Allah. Batil can also mean wasted, something that is wasted, like the actions are wasted. Batil means to spoil, to destroy, or to, what's the word I'm looking for? When you debate, rebuttal, yeah? Rebut? Is it? Rebuttal? Is that the right spelling? And I think rebuttal, not review, rebuttal. Somebody brings a theory, you rebut, you provide a rebuttal, you say, no, this is wrong because batil. You see, batil might be the same, batil may be batil, yeah? To lie. Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, mubtilun, liars. Yes, and that which is baseless. Baseless. And the batil can be the liars, or the batil can be those trying to destroy the truth, the haqq. Batil. I'll just have a minute to digest that. Think about it. Think. Yes, think. Actively think. What does it actually mean? So look at your words that you've written and think about them. Then compare that with haqq. Because these words are going to be repeated now throughout this group of surahs. Okay? All right, so let's look at now group 2 is all about haqq and batil, yeah? Haqq versus batil. The first pair of surahs, in group 2, you will find this breakdown of surahs, yeah? You will find pairs. You will find Yunus and Hud, a pair. Yunus and Hud. Make a note of this because your extended task will be based on what I'm doing now. Yunus and Hud. Then you'll find Yusuf, a standalone surah. Ra'd and Ibrahim, a pair. Hijr and Nahl, pair. Isra and Kahf, a pair. Maryam and Taha, a pair. Anbiya and Hajj, a pair. So far, all of these are Makki surahs, yeah? Makki. Then there are 2 surahs, Mu'minun and which surah? And Noor, Surah Noor. These are a pair and they are in Madani. Okay? You've written it down? This list? So you have to write this list down. And we're going to use this list for all the time that we do group 2. And you'll do extended learning, thinking, yeah? Thinking. I want you to think about Quran. So what I'm proposing is this. I'm proposing that, and I'm suggesting, and this is a suggestion, I could maybe not hit the mark, of course, that for each one of these pairs or individual surahs, when you study them and you think about them, you can give them a title of some sort. Yeah? You can come to a conclusion that these 2 together are summarizing this, or they are talking about this. I'll give you an example just for the first. Yunus and Hud, they both together go to show us the proofs of Tawheed, Risala, and Akhirah. Yeah? In terms of the signs in what? 2 things? Self and creation and history. What was the term used for self and creation? At-tadhkir bi ala illah. At-tadhkir bi ala illah. and tazkir bi ayyamillah. Bi ayyamillah. Okay, so these two surahs, when you study them, you will find that this title summarizes the overall gist of the two surahs together. Is it making sense? Now your job will be, for example, for tomorrow, you have to give us a title for Surah Yusuf after studying it. And then after you read Ra'd and Ibrahim, you have to give them a title, how they will explain. But you can refer to Haqq and Batil and etc. etc. Is it clear? I hope it's clear. Yeah. So I'm forcing you to think, not just about one surah, but the pair. Both of the surahs together, they go to fulfill an objective, a message. Okay? Analysis. This is called analysis, analytics. Okay, let's have a look at these two surahs now, Yusuf and Hud. Surah Yusuf and Hud, Yunus, not Yusuf, Yunus. I didn't write Yusuf there, did I? Yunus, yes. Yunus, Surah Yunus and Surah Hud. These two are a pair. Okay? They are both revealed roughly in the 12th year of Nabawi. 12th Nabawi. Near the end of the Meccan period. Nabawi means the prophethood. Since the Prophet ﷺ was given revelation, it was 12 years. Surah Yunus was revealed first, then Hud, and then Yusuf. So these three surahs, which are in order in the Quran, were also revealed in this order. Surah Yunus focuses more on reminding people of the signs and proofs of the truth, meaning the haqq, the truth, the evidences for Allah, Risala, and Akhirah. But the signs given here are signs which are called bi'ala illah, yeah? Bi'ala illah, meaning signs in ourselves and our creation around us. Emphasizes that more. Okay? Surah Hud emphasizes the signs in history. Signs in history. It will go through the 6 nations again. Which surah had the 6 nations in it before? Aisha? Which surah had the 6 nations already? Al-A'raf. Al-A'raf. So if you remember, Al-A'raf had this focus, and which surah had this focus? An'am. You see this? This is very similar to An'am and Al-A'raf, because An'am and A'raf were a pair as well, yeah? So it seems as if, you have to listen to me now, yeah? Start thinking. Please think about Quran, yeah? Allah Ta'ala, He mentions whoever struggles, man jahada fina. Walladina jahadu fina. Whoever, those people who strive in our cause, lanahdiyannahum subulana. Allah will definitely guide these people, yeah? So we have to make jihad, effort to understand the Quran. You don't make effort by leaning over and sitting, by standing up, sitting up properly. Okay. So the surahs, listen to this now, yeah? The surahs An'am and Al-A'raf had the same subject in the same order. Then we have Anfal and Tawbah. And after that, the 2 surahs that come after that, they have the same, like a mirror image. You understand? Mirror image, reflection. Good. Okay, so let's now start looking at these surahs, inshallah, yeah? Hopefully that's clear. Let's look at Surah Yunus. Surah Yunus, the central theme, the establishment of a manifest proof, which is Itimam al-Hujjah, against the mushrikeen of Makkah, of Tawheed, Risala and Akhirah, in light of the Quranic proofs and the reply to their demands and their objections regarding this. So let's take, inshallah, let's also look at the summary booklet. I found the summary booklet useful for this. It makes it easy to summarize the surahs. Surah Yunus, yeah? It is saying that Haqq, yeah? What is Haqq? Allah is Haqq. And then His creation is Haqq. Yes? And the resurrection is Haqq. You have to think which one of the words, which one of the meanings of Haqq is meant here, yeah? We looked at 6 or 7 meanings of Haqq. You have to think. So for example, when we say Allah is Haqq, which meaning is it? Allah created everything with purpose. You see that? Okay? When we talk about His creation, it means that His creation has been created with purpose. What is the meaning when we say resurrection is Haqq? Which one of the 7? No, I didn't say true. This is just fluke. I gave you 7 definitions of Haqq. People think about this, yeah? I want you to think which one of those 6 or 7 is most suitable for the resurrection as a proof. Justice, good, number 1. Very good.
To believe in something that truly exists.
Good, excellent. Number 2, to believe in something that truly exists. And one more. Wisdom and purpose. That which is morally sound. La uqsimu bi nafsil lawwama. Your morals tell you that there must be a resurrection. Anyway, we will look at the cry of the fitrah in distress. This is which type of ayah or sign? Nafsi, anfusi, inside, internal. The Prophet ﷺ is haqq. Yeah? What's the proof of this? You know him for 40 years. And then this beautiful ayah 35, it mentions haqq so many times. Yeah? Who has more haqq, meaning the right to be obeyed, than the haqq, who created everything with purpose, who has guided you to the haqq. Yeah? The truth which has proof, meaning this Quran. And then Quran is haqq, it has basis. Yes, it has a basis, it has been preserved, it has been explained. It is from Allah. And if you don't believe in that, if you think this is fabrication, then bring something like it. Yeah? And the Quran is the greatest favor. So be happy with this and how to remain steadfast by following the Quran. So let's take these ayat. Okay? Let's make your life easy. Let's take just these ayat. First, let's take the first 5 ayat. Inshallah, Surah Yunus. The other thing that you will find that these 2 surahs as a pair, they both start with the mention of Al-Kitab. Al-Kitab. And it will mention Al-Hakim here and Uhkimat in the next surah. Hakim and Uhkimat. So Hakam and Hukam and Hakim has been mentioned. Hakim means something which is very firm, stable. Yes? A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Surah Yunus. Alif lam ra. Tilka ayatul kitabil hakim. This is the book which is wise. The ayat I want to take is this. Inna rabbakumullahu alladhi khalaqa as-samawati wal arda fi sittati ayamin thumma istawa 'ala al-arsh yudabbiru al-amr. Allah is the creator. Yes? The Rabb who created everything and He is maintaining everything in the heavens and the earth. He created them initially in that period of time and He is running everything. and everything will turn back to him. وَعْدًا وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقًّا. وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقًّا. It is the truth. His promise is true. It will happen. It exists. And there is reason for it, because he created everything with purpose. And then the haqq, meaning justice. إِنَّهُ يَبْدَأُ الْخَلْقَ ثُمَّ يُعِيدُهُ. He is the one who created everything from nothing, and he will create them again. Why? The purpose of creation, yeah, haqq. لِيَجْزِيَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ بِالْقِسْطِ. He will give them what they deserve, and he will do justice. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, and the people who did kufr, لَهُمْ شَرَابٌ مِّنْ حَمِيمٍ وَعَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْفُرُونَ. They will have this punishment because of their disbelief. This is justice. This is haqq. هُوَ الَّذِي جَعَلَ الشَّمْسَ ضِيَاءً. He created the sun to give light. وَالْقَمَرَ نُورًا, and also to give light, the moon, but they are different in their lights. وَقَدَّرَهُ مَنَازِلًا, and he has given them time portions. لِتَعْلَمُ عَدَدَ السِّنِينَ وَالْحِسَابِ. For us, this allows us to create our timetable and organization. مَا خَلَقَ اللَّهُ ذَلِكَ إِلَّا بِالْحَقِّ. Allah did not create all of this except with purpose. يُفَصِّلُ الْآيَاتِ. Allah Ta'ala, He explains His signs. لِقَوْمِ يَعْلَمُونَ. For people who know that this is the truth. So these ayat, and then let's take the cry of the fitra in distress, the ayat inside ourselves, ayats 12 and 22. وَإِذَا مَسَّ الْإِنسَانَ الضُّرُّ دَعَانَا لِجَنْبِهِ أَوْ قَاعِدًا أَوْ قَائِمًا. When man is in distress, in stress, he calls us, yes, lying, sitting, standing. Yeah, people are turning to Allah in distress. Okay, that Allah remove this virus. Yeah, or something, anything, remove this, please. فَلَمَّا كَشَفْنَا عَنْهُ. And when Allah will remove it, inshallah, may Allah protect us from being like this. عَنْهُ ضُرَّهُ, Allah removes this harm. مَرَّ كَأَن لَّمْ يَدْعُنَا إِلَى ضُرٍّ مَسَّهُ. This person, he continues in disobedience as if he had never called upon Allah to remove an affliction. A'udhu billahi min dhalik. May Allah protect us from this. I mentioned before, the time period we are going through now is sabr. Sabr. Yes? Lockdown, sabr. When we are allowed to go out, then we have to become what? We have to have shukr. Shukr for Allah Ta'ala's ni'mah that He has protected us. And shukr is to now seek Allah's guidance and follow it. This will be shukr when we are out of this. كَذَلِكَ زُيِّنَ لِلْمُسْرِفِينَ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. This is 12, and then 22 talks about the fitrah. Very famous, 22 and 23, very famous, beautiful depiction of the human morality and human soul and the human instinct, yes, that there is only one Allah. هُوَ الَّذِي يُسَيِّرُكُمْ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ. Allah is the one who enables you to enjoy the travel in the land and sea. Imagine you travel by plane, yeah? Thank Allah. And that's why we say, Subhanalladhi sakhkhara lana hada wa ma kunna lahu muqrinin. That, oh Allah, you are the one who is perfect, who gave this plane to us. We could not have created this ourselves. You gave us ability. You gave us technology. And in the Bahr, the ships that sail. حَتَّى إِذَا كُنْتُمْ فِي الْفُلْكِ وَجَرَيْنَ بِهِمْ رِيحٍ طَيِّبَةٍ وَفَرِحُوا بِهَا. And then you are enjoying the beautiful winds, yeah? But then suddenly, جَاءَتْ حَرِّيحٌ عَاصِفٌ. And then suddenly a very stormy wind comes. وَجَاءَهُمُ الْمَوْجُ. And then a huge wave comes. مِنْ كُلِّ مَكَانٍ. From every corner. وَظَنُّوا. And now the person is completely sure أَنَّهُمْ أُحِيطَ بِهِمْ, that the person would be completely engulfed by this wave. What happens? دَعْوُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. The person then sincerely calls only to Allah, لَإِنْ أَنْجَيْتَنَا, and says, oh Allah, if you save me from this, مِنْ هَذِهِ, then لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الشَّاكِرِينَ, then I will definitely be from the grateful people, meaning I will follow you, I will obey you. And this has been reported that our brother Yusuf Islam, he encountered, he experienced this himself when he was swimming in the sea, and then Allah, he guided him. Alhamdulillah. فَلَمَّا أَنْجَاهُمْ إِذَا هُمْ يَبْغُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ. But when these people, they are saved from this disaster and this predicament, then they go around the earth, and they are unjust. بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ يَبْغُونَ. They commit injustice, they are rebellious to Allah. Now you may say, no, these people are very polite, nice people, they're not rebelling against Allah. No, يَبْغُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ means they do not now appreciate Allah for who He is by obeying Him, rather than they obey what? Hawa, desires. Allah Ta'ala is saying, Ya ayyuhan nas, innama baghyukum ala anfusikum. Your baghi, yes, this injustice and rebellion against Allah is against your nafs. Remember the qalb, yeah, the heart. This is against yourself. Because your nafs has the instinct of worshipping only one Allah, turning only to Him. For a moment, your nafs, your qalb turned to Allah. But then you disallowed it from continuing to worship Allah. So you are wronging that nafs, that qalb that you have to answer to Allah about. Mata al hayati dunya. This worldly life is just consumable. Yeah, consumables. Thumma ilayna marji'ukum. And then to Allah, Allah is saying you will all return back, and then I will tell you what you used to do. So this is the cry of the fitrah. This is telling people, believe in Allah. This is in your instincts. You cannot deny this. And then the other proof of the Prophet ﷺ, his haqq, is in 16, ayah 16, that the Prophet ﷺ, he lived with them for 40 years before prophethood, and he was known to be the most trustworthy, the most honest person, the most just, the best of the best, even before prophethood. قُلْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مَا تَلَوْتُهُ عَلَيْكُمْ وَلَا أَدْرَاكُمْ بِهِ. If Allah had willed, I would not have recited this Quran to you, nor would He have made it known to you. فَقَدْ لَبِثْتُ فِيكُمْ أُمُرًا مِّن قَبْلِهِ. I have lived with you, amongst you, for a long time, 40 years. أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Then will you not reason? Your hearts and your minds, will they not reason? Don't you use this faculty Allah has given your hearts and your minds of aql to think, to come to the right conclusion? The truth is, the haqq is that this is the proof of the Prophet ﷺ's honesty. And then this is beautiful ayah 35 about the different types of haqq, or the meaning of the word haqq as we mentioned. قُلْ هَلْ مِنْ شُرَكَائِكُمْ مَنْ يَهْدِي إِلَى الْحَقِّ. Allah Ta'ala is saying, those that you associate partners with other than Allah. Yeah, so it could be an idol, or it could be an ideology, couldn't it? Ideology. People have ideologies that they base their lives on, their economics on, their politics on, their social life on. Allah Ta'ala is saying, who from amongst those that you have associated with Allah in His right guide you ila al-haq, the truth? قُلِ اللَّهُ يَهْدِي لِلْحَقِّ. Say to them, only Allah is the one who guides to the truth, which is the Quran. أَفَمَنْ يَهْدِي إِلَى الْحَقِّ أَحَقُّ. You see this? You have to focus on this, yeah? أَفَمَنْ يَهْدِي إِلَى الْحَقِّ. Is not the one, or is not the one who guides to the truth, أَحَقُّ, who has more right, yes? أَنْ يُتَّبَعَ, that he should be followed, أَمَّنْ لَا يَهْدِي إِلَّا أَنْ يُهْدَى, compared, أَنْ يُتَّبَعَ أَمَّنْ لَا يَهِدِّي إِلَّا أَنْ يُهْدَى. Or is that one who is guided by Allah more right to be followed. فَمَا لَكُمْ كَيْفَ تَحْكُمُونَ. So Allah Ta'ala is saying that Allah, He is the one who guides to the truth, and He has more right to be followed than those who actually need Allah's guidance. They cannot be guided unless Allah guides them. And then Allah highlights the problem with batil is وَمَا يَتَّبِعُ أَكْثَرُهُمْ إِلَّا ظَنَّ. They do not follow except dhan. Dhan is a conjecture, maybe, maybe not. إِنَّ الظَّنَّ لَا يُغْنِي مِنَ الْحَقِّ شَيْئًا. Indeed, assumption avails nothing against the truth, because truth is fact. Dhan is fiction. Inna Allah alima bima yaf'alun. Allah, He knows whatever they are doing. Okay, Quran is the haqq. Yeah, Quran is the proof. وَمَا كَانَ هَذَا الْقُرْآنُ أَن يُفْتَرَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. This Quran is not fabrication. وَلَكِنْ تَصْدِيقَ الَّذِي بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ. But indeed it is here to confirm what is before you in the Torah and the Injil. وَالتَّفْصِيلَ الْكِتَابِ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ مِن رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. And it has the explanation and the detail in this book, and there is no doubt in it from being that it is from Rabb al-Alameen. And if you still doubt, أَمْ يَقُولُونَ افترى, if you say that it had been fabricated, na'udhu billah, then challenge them. So this Quran challenge has come many times in the Quran. Yeah? Started in which surah? Baqarah. وَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا وَلَنْ تَفْعَلُوا. Yes, you can try, but you will never be able to, yeah? Ever. Here Allah Ta'ala is saying, قُلْ فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِّن مِثْلِهِ. سُورَةٍ مِثْلِهِ. Say to them, bring a surah like it. وَدَعُوا مَنِ اسْتَطَعْتُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. And you can ask anybody to help you other than Allah. Yes? So this is the challenge of the Quran, that this is the truth, this is the haqq. And Quran is the greatest favor. 57 to 58. Ya ayyuhan nas, O mankind, qad ja'atkum maw'izatun min rabbikum. Has already come, Allah has sent already to you a maw'izah, a reminder from the Lord. وَالشِّفَاءُ لِمَا فِي الصُّدُورِ. And it is the healing of the diseases in the breasts of mankind. The disease of not giving Allah His right, not obeying Allah, not worshipping Allah, not acknowledging Allah. The disease of shirk, the disease of kufr. Kufr is not being grateful to Allah by acknowledging Him and worshipping Him. The disease of nifaq, hypocrisy. The disease of jealousy. The disease of kibr, arrogance. But this Quran, it can remove those diseases. Yes, it can clean your what? Heart. And for the people who believe, wahudan, it can be guidance, wa rahmah lil mu'minin. It can be guidance and a means of mercy for the believers. May Allah Ta'ala cure us and give us rahmah and guidance. Ameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen. Qul bifadlillahi wa birahmatihi. Say, this is from Allah Ta'ala's bounty and His rahmah. فَبِذَلِكَ فَلْيَفْرَحُوا. And for this you should be happy, celebrating. هُوَ خَيْرٌ مِمَّا يَجْمَعُونَ. Because this guidance is better than everything that you can amass in this world, everything that you can gather in this world. The guidance is the best. And the end of the surah, it talks to the believers in ayahs 104 to 106 and ayah 109 about remaining steadfast by following this Quran, the haqq, so that you can carry on with your mission of conveying this message. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ إِن كُنتُمْ فِي sorry, which ayah did I say? Sorry, from 105. وَأَنْ أَقِيمْ وَجْهَكَ this, sorry, have I messed up this? No, this is not the right. It seems like, just a minute, from my notes. Khair. I think I have. Let's just take the last ayah as a guidance for the believers. وَاتَّبِعْ مَا يُوحَى إِلَيْكَ, and follow that which has been revealed to you. وَاصْبِرْ, and remain steadfast on this guidance. حَتَّى يَحْكُمَ اللَّهُ, until Allah Ta'ala's hukm comes, judgment comes. Hukm of Allah can mean here the punishment that came to Quraysh in Badr, etc. And of course it can mean death. وَهُوَ خَيْرُ الْحَاكِمِينَ, and Allah is the best of judges. So Surah Yunus, a summary of that. Let's look at now Surah Hud. As we mentioned, Surah Hud, this is focusing on reminding us of the signs of Allah's greatness and His law of justice, of annihilation of nations and replacement of nations, the adhab of istifsal and then istibdal. And the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that mentions that the Prophet ﷺ, he said that this is one of the surahs that turned his hair grey. Yeah, he said that to Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, that shayyabatni Hud wa akhwatiha. The surah Hud and it's like the surahs, they turned my hair grey because there is a final ultimatum warning to the Quraysh to do istighfar and tawbah. Yes, a last chance to do istighfar and tawbah. And so the Prophet ﷺ was so worried about this ummah that it turned his hair grey. Okay, so let's take the first few ayat and then we'll take each section inshallah in turn. First three ayat of Surah Yunus. Surah Hud. Alif Lam Ra, Kitabun Uhkimat Ayatu. As I said, this surah also begins with mentioning the Kitab, the Quran. ثم فصلت من لدن حكيم خبير. A book whose verses are perfected and then detailed from Allah who is all wise, all knowing. And what is the message of this book? Allah ta'budu illallah. Do not worship except Allah. Worship is what? Two things? Worship is what? Two things? Love and obedience. Hub and khushu. To be humble and submissive and obey Allah. Innani lakum minhu nadhirun wa bashir. Indeed, I, Prophet ﷺ is saying, my relationship with you is one who will remind you, warn you of the dangers, and he will give you the good tidings of Jannah. And one of the repeated things in this surah is istighfar. Yeah, istighfar. وَأَنِ اسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ ثُمَّ تُوبُوا إِلَيْهِ. So do istighfar. Ask Allah Ta'ala to cover your bad deeds and your sins that you have done in the past. ثُمَّ تُوبُوا إِلَيْهِ. And then you turn to Him. Turn to Him means now you obey Him. You realize your mistake, you do istighfar. And you promise Him to do the right thing, and then you do the right thing. يُمَتِّعْكُمْ مَتَاعًا حَسَنًا إِلَىٰ أَجَلٍ مُسَمًّى. Then Allah, He will let you enjoy a good provision for a specific time. وَيُؤْتِ كُلَّ ذِي فَضْلٍ فَضْلًا. And He will give every doer of favor his favor. وَإِن تَوَلَّوْا. But if you turn away, فَإِنِّي أَخَافُ عَلَيْكُمْ عَذَابَ يَوْمٍ كَبِيرٍ. But if you turn away from this reminder, you don't do istighfar, you don't do tawbah, you don't turn back to Allah, then I fear that the adhab would come to you, which would be a great day in terms of the adhab, because this will then be a sign of at-tadhkir bi ayyamillah, one of the days in which Allah destroys nations. And we, as a mankind, we should be doing istighfar and tawbah. Yes, this virus or corona or whatever that has affected everybody, this should really make us turn to Allah. Yeah, and istaghfiru rabbakum thumma tubu ilayh. Okay, so part of da'wah we should realize from the previous in this surah now is you show people signs, okay, in creation, in themselves, from history, but you also encourage them and invite them to do istighfar and do tawbah, to turn back to Allah. It is not just about giving them information, yeah? It is trying to persuade them to turn to the right path as well. Okay, let's move on then. Ayahs 13 and 14 talk again about the challenge of the Quran. The haqq, the proof of the Quran. Am yaqulun aftara. If they say you have invented it, fabricated, qul, say to them, fa'tu bi ashri suwarim mithlihi muftarayatin. So then you should fabricate 10 surahs. In the previous surah, it was 1 surah. In this, it is 10 surahs. And in Surah Al-Baqarah, it mentions, وَإِن كُنْتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِمَّا نَزَّلْنَا عَلَى عَبْدِنَا فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ. Yeah, 1 surah as well. وَدْعُوا مَنِ اسْتَطَعْتُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Again, the same challenge. Call whoever to your aid other than Allah. And know that فَإِلَّمْ يَسْتَجِيبُوا لَكُمْ. And you should know that if they can't respond to you, they can't take this challenge, فَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّمَا أُنزِلَ بِعِلْمِ اللَّهِ. Then you should know that this is only revealed by Allah's knowledge. This is from Allah alone. Because they cannot bring anything like it. وَأَنْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُ. And that, therefore you should realize that only Allah should be worshipped. فَهَلْ أَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. So then you then submit and become Muslim? The proof is there for you. So one aspect of batil is now being mentioned here. Batil in terms of actions being wasted and not being rewarded. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ لَيْسَ لَهُمْ فِي الْآخِرَةِ إِلَّا النَّارِ. The people who do not believe in Allah and the Messenger and the last day, for these people there is nothing for them in the hereafter. وَحَبِطَ مَا صَنَعُوا. And whatever they did in this dunya, it is lost. وَبَاطِلٌ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. And what they did will be worthless, it will be wasted. Batil. One of the meanings of batil has been used in this ayah. And then in ayah 24, Allah Ta'ala, He repeats the phenomenon of the people who are blind and deaf to the signs, and the people who see, hear, and follow the signs. Yeah, the hearts which are dead and the hearts which are alive. Mathalul fariqain. The example of 2 different types of people. Kal a'ma wal asam is like the blind and deaf. One of them, one party. The other wal basir was sami. They see and hear, and this is referring to the heart seeing and hearing. Hal yastawiyani mathala. Are they both the same? No. Afala tadhakkarun. Will you not then be reminded of this? That open your heart and your mind. Open the eyes of your heart, open the ears, and think with your heart. And then the surah goes into mention the 6 messengers again, and the 6 nations again are then mentioned. And all of them, they call to the ibadah of Allah alone in this surah, and to do istighfar. What was the main thing mentioned in the previous surah about the, not in this surah, sorry. Forget that, don't worry about that, Surah Al-A'raf. In Surah Al-A'raf, what was mentioned again and again about the nations? Keyword, mala'a, mala'a, mala'a. Leadership, yeah. Here, istighfar, we'll find comes again and again and again. So let's take some ayat. Let's take the ayat that mention istighfar by these messengers, yeah, to their people. So ayah 52. Ayah 52. Make a note. Ayah 52. وَيَا قَوْمِ اسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ ثُمَّ تُوبُوا إِلَيْهِ. Yes? This is Hud alayhi salam inviting his people, do istighfar and do tawbah. Turn to him. What will happen? He will send upon you the rain perpetual, and He will increase you in manpower, in quwwah. Yes? So He's encouraging them. And then the next ayah that mentions this is 66, or 61 rather. 61, Salih alayhi salam. He says to his people, فَاسْتَغْفِرُوا, in the end, yeah? فَاسْتَغْفِرُوهُ ثُمَّ تُوبُوا إِلَيْهِ. Do istighfar and turn to Allah. Inna Rabbi qareebun mujib. He is close. He will respond to you. He will accept your istighfar and your tawbah. He will turn to you. And then the istighfar, Shu'aib alayhi salam, in ayah 90. In ayah 90, Shu'aib alayhi salam, he invites his people to do istighfar as well. Where is it? 90? Allah al-Musta'an. وَاسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ ثُمَّ تُوبُوا إِلَيْهِ. He's saying, oh people, do istighfar. Ask Allah Ta'ala for forgiveness. We should do istighfar every day, at least 100 times. At least. And more. And turn to Allah. Inna Rabbi Rahimun Wadud. Look, He's encouraging them. We should encourage people in da'wah. Allah, He's forgiving. He's loving. He's caring. He wants what's good for you. Just turn to Him for your own benefit. And the other recurring ayah in this is that Allah Ta'ala, He saves the believers, the messenger and the believers from the punishment. This has also been repeated again and again in this surah regarding the believers. Let's take one aspect of Musa alayhi salam and Fir'aun, 98 and 99. This is regarding Fir'aun and his mala that followed him. Allah Ta'ala is mentioning إِلَى فِرْعَوْنَ وَمَلَئِهِ فَاتَّبَعُوا أَمْرَ فِرْعَوْنَ. They followed Fir'aun, his establishment, his leaders. وَمَا أَمْرُ فِرْعَوْنَ بِرَشِيدٍ. But he was not guided. Yes? يَقْدُمُ قَوْمَهُ. So he will precede, he will be in the front of his people, yeah, who followed him. يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, on the day of judgment. فَأَوْرَدَهُمُ النَّارِ, and he will lead them to the fire. This is like the shepherd leads his flock to the water. وَبِئْسَ الْوِرْدُ الْمَوْرُودُ. This is the worst place to lead people. وَأُطْبِعُوا فِي هَذِهِ اللَّعْنَةِ. And they were followed in this with a curse, this life, because they didn't accept the truth. وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, and on the day of resurrection, they will also be deprived of Allah's mercy. بِئْسَ الرِّفْدُ الْمَرْفُودُ. This is the worst thing that you can be given. And then Allah Ta'ala is saying that these stories of the prophets we have given you as Amba. Amba is a very important news. Yeah? Naba is an important news that you must heed to. And if you don't heed to this Naba, then you would be destroyed. This is Naba. Yeah? It's not Khabar. Khabar is just news. But Naba, important news that your life depends on. Naba'un Azim. And this is the Sunnah of Allah. The Sunnah of Allah is that He sends a messenger and then He decides the punishment or the reward depending on what people do. And the last section, it tells the believers, فَاسْتَقِمْ كَمَا أُمِرْتَ, remain steadfast as you have been commanded. وَمَنْ تَابَ مَعَكَ وَلَا تَطْغَوْا. And those who have turned back with you to Allah and who do not transgress, إِنَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. Allah, He knows what you are doing. And do not incline towards those who do wrong. Do not give in to them at all. Do not listen to them. Yes? Because you may also then be touched by the Jahannam. And nobody will help you other than Allah. And establish the prayer in the morning and the evenings. And do good to remove evil. Innal hasanat yudhibna sayyi'at. This is also in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Yeah? Do good to remove evil. You carry on doing good, yeah? To remove evil. Increase your doing of good to decrease the evil. And this is for people who remember. Wasbir, and remain steadfast. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Allah, He will not let go to waste your ajr. You will be fully recompensed. And then the last ayah to take. وَكُلًّا نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ مِنْ أَنْبَاءِ الرُّسُلِ مَا نُثَبِّتُ بِهِ فُؤَادَكَ. We have told you the stories of these messengers and people to make you strong in your resolve, to make your heart firm. وَجَاءَكَ مِنْ هَذِهِ الْحَقِّ. And there has come to you in this the truth, وَمَوْعِظَةٌ, and an instruction and reminder, وَإِنَّ ذِكْرَى, and a reminder for the believers, for them to believe. And so say to those people who do not believe, you carry on doing what you are doing, and we will wait. You will wait. وَلِلَّهِ غَيْبُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. For Allah Ta'ala, to Him belongs all that is hidden to us in the heavens and the earth. وَإِلَيْهِ يُرْجَعُ الْأَمْرُ كُلُّهُ. Everything returns back to Him for judgment. فَاعْبُدُوهُ. So worship Him alone, rely on Him alone. وَمَا رَبُّكَ بِغَافِلٍ أَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ. Allah, He is not unaware of what you are doing. O believers, you are making sacrifice. He will reward you fully and more. بِفَضْلِ Ta'ala. And inshallah, that comes to the end of that. So your homework now, or extended task, is number 1, look at the different groups of surahs, the pairs, as I mentioned, and give them titles. So give a title to maybe this Surah Yunus and Hud, you may want to give a title to it. Surah Yusuf, give it a title. And then study the story of Surah Yusuf and look for haqq and batil in that. Haqq, are you listening to the task? Look for haqq and batil, how you will explain Surah Yusuf in terms of what is haqq, what is batil, okay, and how they both compete and what happens in the end. So inshallah, with that we come to the end of that, and if